turn it over to my good colleague Keith, who is the Director of School Services, and he's a Senior Leadership Executive for ISS. Before joining the leadership team at ISS, Keith was a high school principal and secondary school counselor and college advisor for 15 years in Pennsylvania, Pakistan, and Dubai. He has raised children overseas. He's had a wonderful career overseas. And in addition to that, working with Audrey, whom he will introduce in just a second, he has 2 master's degrees from Lehigh University, one in international school counseling and the other in educational leadership. Again, both from Lehigh. So we are thrilled. I'm thrilled to turn it over to Keith Cincotta and to have him run us through what we're going to cover today and to introduce our main speaker, Audrey. Take it away.
Great. Thanks, Erin. We are really excited to get this partnership going. At ISS, we've been working for a while on how to provide opportunities for teachers at the ISS schools that kind of enhance their experience and leverage the power of ISS. And one of the underlying philosophical underpinnings of doing a program like this is building community across the ISS schools. So this program is specifically for people who are teaching or working at ISS managed schools around the world. It's a way to bring them together and sort of emphasize the stuff that we have in common. I'm really excited to be working with Lehigh. Lehigh is obviously, since I'm alum, I'm required to say this, but I also believe it. Lehigh's a great university. Speaking of community, the Lehigh community is super strong. Lehigh's been a leader in reaching our international schools community for a long time now. And they really have the credibility and experience to know how to put together these programs. So again, we're just super excited at ISS that we can do this and put together a cohort of folks from ISS schools. So today, what we're going to do, as Erin said, we're scheduled for an hour. We're probably not going to keep you sitting here for an hour, but we want to cover the main areas of the program, an overview of the partnership in the program, the grad programs we're going to offer, the curriculum, admissions, application. There's some nuts and bolts that need to be taken care of, deadlines and dates, and then questions and answers that you might have. And the heavy lifting of this this webinar is going to be done by Audree Chase-Mayoral, who is the Associate Director of Global Online Graduate Degrees and Training at Lehigh's College of Education. She's got a lot of experience working in international education arenas and all kinds of higher ed institutions in the US. She's got a BA in Russian Soviet Studies, and she may speak Russian today. That might happen. So John in Kazakhstan, you can test her. She's got an MED in Globalization and Educational Change and currently pursuing an EDD in Ed Leadership from Lehigh. She's a co-author and editor of numerous publications, including The Global Rise of the U.S. Community College and Community Colleges Worldwide, Investigating the Global Phenomenon. So Audrey, thank you. And we're really happy to be working with you and that you're here today to share with us. So it's all yours.
Thanks so much, Keith, and I really appreciate Здравствуйте to my colleague in Kazakhstan. I've never been to any of the stands, but I have been to the former Soviet Union, so I'm dating myself there. So I'm very excited that I had the opportunity to do that when I was studying overseas, but never to the stands, so maybe someday, John. I'm going to introduce my colleague, Andrea Dimel. She is in absentia today, unfortunately. She had a long-standing planned trip to New York City. But Andrea has been with our office for 5 years. You can see her photo there. And she handles all of our student inquiries, our student applications, how to get registered for classes, all the way up to graduation. So what we do, we're a really small team. Stephen Kazar is our director. There's 3 of us. We're small but mighty, and we really understand the international school student population, and we do our very best to respond to all your needs because we recognize that you're thousands of miles and many time zones away. We're thrilled to count Keith as one of our alums. He actually counts for like 2 alums because he's from 2 different programs. So really proud to have him as a Lehigh College of Education alumni. And I can't say how much we've enjoyed working with ISS, Laura Light's a current MED student in our educational leadership program as well. And just everyone at ISS is just so glorious to work with. We're excited about this partnership as well. So that's a good segue into a little bit of the history of Lehigh College of Education connection to ISS. There's one other small one, I don't know who's everyone's watching, but Roger Douglas, who used to be Associate Director of this office that has been at the College of Ed for about 16 years. He was the Associate Director, got his doctorate here at Lehigh's College of Ed, and went on to work for ISS for a few years before he went to Vancouver to be a director of graduate programs at a university in Vancouver. So we even go back a little bit more than Keith and Laura. So the genesis of the idea was that you guys do amazing things. We're used to the international school environment, and we just thought we could do some great things together. So we found some synergy, and ISS created a survey for us that perhaps you all filled out, that who are joining us this morning, and more who will be watching this later, to try to gauge what the interest level was in the programs that we offer online during the fall and spring, and face-to-face during our annual Summer Institute that we offer here on campus in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We are located about equidistant from Philadelphia and New York City. So if you're not familiar where Lehigh University is, we're in a small community, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area. Actually medium-sized, I should say medium-sized. So when folks do come here for the summer, they usually fly into Philadelphia, New York, or Newark, New Jersey, and that tends to work really well because we're fairly convenient to those locations, and fortunately also only an hour away or so from Princeton. So we have that advantage as well. So we, Keith and Aaron and Laura have been our main contacts at ISS, and tremendous support from Liz Duffy as well, the president. So just to start giving you guys an overview of the kinds of program delivery that we offer and what you could expect from being participating in a graduate program in a cohort with Lehigh University's College of Education. So at this point, we're planning on a summer 2018 start, which will be face-to-face in Princeton. So we're excited about that. We have some dates that we're playing with. I'll defer to Keith on that later for the Q&A session. Then fall 2018 would be an online course. We do offer a January 29th course online that is a shortened format. And I should mention that our summer courses are in shortened formats, meaning that they are 8 to 9 days of coursework, and you can earn 3 credits. So we try to maximize our students' learning and offering how we offer our courses, and we do try to have flexible delivery of course offerings, being online and then face-to-face. We know everyone's crazy busy over the summers, over the holiday breaks, and so we do offer shortened courses during those time periods. Then spring 2019 would be online, and summer 2019 would be face-to-face again in Princeton. When we did our survey with the ISS school population, we found that our non-degree certificate in educational leadership and our non-degree certificate in international school counseling were the most popular programs that ISS schools were interested in. The non-degree certificate in educational leadership is 5 courses and 15 credits. And I should mention that if you earn that certificate, you will be halfway to a master's degree program in educational leadership. Every course that you would take in that program would count toward a master's in educational leadership, which is 10 courses, 30 credits. So you would literally be halfway there. Our non-degree certificate in international school counseling is 4 courses, 12 credits. Those would also count toward a master's degree in international school counseling should you decide to move forward in your studies and want to pursue a master's degree in international school counseling. Those 4 courses would transfer immediately into a master's degree program. I should mention that if you are going to apply for a master's degree program in and continue on in educational leadership or international school counseling, you do need to reapply as a master's degree seeking student. That is to keep applications and programs separate in our application system for our admissions office. And there are a few other requirements for a master's degree program application that are not required for a non-degree certificate program. And those are 2 letters of recommendation and then an essay, what I call it, what you want to be when you grow up essay. So you would have to reapply and be accepted as a master's degree student. But once that would happen, those credits that you took for the certificate programs would count toward your master's. Each 3-credit course costs $1,725 plus a $130 technology fee per course. That's not per credit. We are incredibly competitive cost-wise in the graduate school arena for education, if you all have looked around for programs such as ours. A little bit about the curricula. I won't get into the course descriptions at all, but certainly we can follow up with that if anyone's interested in that specifically. This is what the course curricula would look like for educational leadership. I've actually had all these courses. Organizational leadership and change management, school resources management, research that would give you an overview of qualitative versus quantitative research and what those 2 areas of research philosophies, methodologies mean. I should know this. I'm trying to come up with a dissertation topic. Supervision and professional development and curriculum in a global society. So all of these are core courses in our Ed Leadership program, and again, would count toward a full-on master's degree in educational leadership should you decide to pursue that. This is what our course curricula looks like for international school counseling. It's 4 courses, as I mentioned earlier, and these are the names of the courses. Helping skills in international settings, culture-centered career interventions, counseling and therapeutic approaches, and international school counseling. We really pride ourselves here at the College of Education that our international counseling program does really address the very specific needs of the international school arena. In fact, to prove that, our counseling psychology program just changed the name of this master's degree program specifically to say international school counseling, and reflect the fact that the courses that are taught in this program really do address the needs of the international school K-12 counselors. This is intended for people who are already counselors and want to ramp up their skills, or it's intended for people who are aspiring to be school counselors. So for admissions requirements, if you're interested in moving forward and you decided you can't live without a Lehigh College of Education graduate program, you would need a bachelor's degree from a U.S. accredited institution with a minimum GPA of 2.75 or a minimum of 12 master's credits with a GPA of 3.0 or higher, again from a U.S. accredited institution. If your degree was not conferred by a U.S. institution, your transcript must be evaluated by World Education Services, Educational Credentialing Services. There's a few that we utilize, and either myself or Andrea could help you sort through that process. For non-native English speakers, you'll need to take a TOEFL or an IELTS test, and anything about that can be found on our applications page. Erin explained to me that this link isn't live, but we'll make sure that through our website and through the ISS website, you all can access more information about this, and I, of course, can answer any questions about this process later if you wish. As far as application instructions, it's really quite easy. You would apply online, select certificate, international counseling distance, or non-degree education distance. Select summer 2018 as a start term, complete your biographical information, and then request and submit official transcripts from a bachelor's or master's degree program from a college or university. And then if it was from a non-US institution, you would just need to request that that transcript be evaluated by an outside entity. Official transcripts must show the degree conferred date and be sent in sealed envelopes directly from the issuing colleges or university or transcript evaluation to our admissions office here in Bethlehem, PA. We are waiving a $65 application fee for ISS applicants. So for those of you who are interested in applying, you'll want to jot down Andrea's contact information. Her email address is and212@Lehigh, LEHIGH.edu for a fee waiver code. And when you're ready for that, she will send you a code that you can enter, and you will not have to pay the application fee for the application for a certificate program. I should also mention that if for ISS member schools, you would not have to pay an application fee if in fact you continued on for a master's degree as well and reapplied. We would waive that fee for you again. So some important notes. The 4 or 5 courses provide you with a non-degree certificate, not a certification. So just to be clear on that, so as many of you know, if you are school counselors, the certification process is a little bit more robust. So these graduate courses are intended to help people ramp up skills. They're not a certification, but you will receive a special certificate of completion from the Global Distance Office. It will have ISS logo and Lehigh's logo on that for you to indicate that you did complete the non-degree certificate program. And of course, you could request a formal transcript from Lehigh University, take those credits elsewhere, or what we would love to have you do is continue on with us and get a master's degree with us. And of course, you would at that point also be eligible for a Lehigh official transcript and a humongous diploma that you get. Keith, you can back me up on this probably. Get a ginormous diploma from Lehigh University when you graduate with your master's.
Yeah, it's one of my complaints. It cost a fortune to get it framed.
That's right. From the university once you complete your master's program with them. So you're starting all as non-degree certificate students. And all courses in both of those programs will count toward a master's degree in each program. And we've already talked about if you want to continue, you must reapply. And the program will reevaluate your application. Very rarely are people denied admissions in the master's program who complete the certificate program. It has happened once or twice. So I should mention that your application is reconsidered as a new applicant, but very rarely does that occur. We're looking for a cohort minimum of 10 to 12 students for both our Educational Leadership Certificate Program and our International School Counseling Program. We could and would and love to have more, but we are looking for a minimum of 10 to 12 to make that run. So for some deadlines and dates, the application is actually active and live and open. You can apply now for a summer 2018 start. The application deadline is April 1st, 2018. So that gives you plenty of time over the holidays to get all your documents sorted and ducks in a row. The application process really is quite simple. Andrea, I should mention, will be here over the holiday. If any of you are working on that or do need to communicate with her in any way and have questions, we will have support for you to do that. Anticipated summer 2018 dates are July 9th to the 22nd. That's what I think we're playing with right now as a target, as per Keith. For planning purposes for fall, if you're looking ahead that far, the 2018 semester begins online on Monday, August 27th. It runs for about 16 weeks. So that would conclude in early December. There is a fall break. And online courses, I've had them. Keith has probably had a few. While there is no specific format for an online course, they're quite manageable. I can attest to that. And working full-time, having a family, it's doable, I promise you. So if you would like to be in touch with Andrea, my colleague here in the office, again, her email is and212@lehigh.edu if you wish to apply or for any questions. And of course, I am here as well right now for any questions that you may have.
Great. Thanks, Audrey. And some of the questions, indeed, you guys have started writing, which is great. Audrey, I'm going to go ahead and read a few too, so that you can begin answering them. Also, I would invite the rest of you, please go ahead and take this chance to send your questions in. Audrey, obviously, is really our go-to on all the details, and also Keith can give his perspective as well from what he's done. So Audrey, let's go ahead and get started with the questions. I'm just going to read a few that came in. When will the summer dates be known? I have already planned my summer travel. Let me just go ahead and read these together, and then you can kind of address them. Are there additional costs involved in the face-to-face session, like housing, food, and travel? And then if there are not enough students, what will happen?
Okay. The summer dates, I think I'll kind of defer to Keith on that a bit, but I believe that we're centering on the 9th through the 22nd as some target.
Yeah, that's the window that we have open here at ISS in our little conference center. And that'll actually be a nice feature to do the classes here at ISS. Our team will be here. We've got a brand new conference center right here in Princeton where we're going to host them. So that's the window we're looking at, 9th to the 22nd in there after the 4th of July.
All right. As far as housing, food, and travel, yes, of course, your travel to the States would be extra. We are trying to minimize travel costs, housing costs by partnering with ISS, and they've been very gracious in offering to host the courses there in Princeton. So that would mean Lehigh faculty would travel to Princeton. It's my understanding that there are already some leadership activities going on at ISS during that time. So we were trying to leverage that travel of ISS school folks there. So certainly housing and food, however that would work while folks are in.
And let me just add to the housing and local things. So where we're located, there are about 100 hotels within a mile or two. So there are plenty of hotel options. There are also Airbnb options as well. And I've been thinking that perhaps getting people together to share Airbnbs and minimize cost might be a nice touch. So as we go along, I will look into that option for folks to try and minimize that cost. Do you need a car when you're here? I think you can get by without one as long as you plan properly. But you may some shared transportation may be nice. There's shuttles that we can use from a hotel right next to our offices into downtown Princeton, which is about 2 miles, not even 2 miles, 1.5 miles away.
That's great, Keith. Thank you for that. And yeah, that would be a wonderful idea to Airbnb and share a place. That's a fantastic idea. So yes, hopefully that covers that question there. What happens if there's not enough? We have seen great amount of interest already. So, I mean, I am optimistic that there will be enough. So let's go with that. But if it so happens that there aren't enough by April, you should be able to still apply. You can still apply for this program. And I'm pretty sure we would honor the fee waiver and what have you, because we really feel strongly about this partnership. And even if it takes a year or so to get the word out, the most important thing is that we've captured some amazing people from the ISS school network that are looking for a graduate coursework to ramp up their education. And actually, you guys can help us by spreading the word and getting some study buddies. I know that I can't get through the doctorate program without my friends. We're egging each other on at all hours of the night and morning and what have you. And, help us get the word out. We'd be really, really grateful for that. And if you can find someone in your school or in your, a friend at another school, another major part of this initiative that we've been talking with ISS for a while is that we see this as a way to build connections between and amongst ISS schools all over the world. Obviously, you have an amazing network already, but to build some academic connections is really powerful. So share this information with your friends around the world and with your colleagues at your schools, and get yourself a study buddy. I know it sounds weird, but it really does work.
Audrey, great, thanks. We've got a couple more coming in, and I know that some folks had to go because they had to teach and have some things, but we do have a couple more questions. So one is, Audrey, would it be possible to finish the Master's in Ed Leadership the year following the certificate program?
Depending on, yes, you should be able to complete that in another calendar year if you use the same model. So what you would do the next year would look very similar to the first year, with you taking a course, one or two courses in the summer, a course online in the fall, and a course online in the spring. So you should be able to, with this model, complete a master's degree in about 2 calendar years. It may require one other summer, either here in Bethlehem, or if Princeton would host it again, we can have conversations with them about that. Again, we're only about an hour away. And if we reach that point where we have a critical mass of folks, we would be willing to get a bus and bus folks from Princeton to here to take, a shortened summer course. And in that case, the housing would be graduate student housing here on campus. It's quite affordable. It's about $35 a night for shared accommodations. So that would be extra. But we could absolutely do that.
Okay, cool. And then Audrey, we have a question. What is the cost per credit for the counseling master's, and how many additional courses or credits is the master's?
Okay, so both of our master's degree programs are 10 courses, so 30 credits. It is $575 a credit hour, which times 3 credits is $1,725. There is a $130 course technology fee that allows us to help our professors deliver those courses online effectively. That is just, however, by course. So the entire cost of one class is $1,855. So an entire master's program would cost about $18,000.
Great. And that's all the questions we have. But if I could just ask my own question and maybe throw it to Keith, and also we can kind of close it out after this. Keith, could you just give your perspective on how this changed you while you were in your programs, in terms of coursework and projects and having that network of folks that you were, working on things. How did it change your, day-to-day work when you were in it, and kind of enhance your career overall? I know we said that it does, but do you have anything to share, any stories or anecdotes about the impact the programs had on you?
Sure. Yeah, I did my master's in counseling back when I had just graduated as an undergrad, so I wasn't in the international world yet. But I made some contacts with Lehigh professors. My advisor was a guy named Arnie Spokane, who was still teaching in the program and really focused on the international program now. Later on, when I was thinking about doing a grad degree in leadership, I went up to Lehigh, had lunch with Arnie, who I hadn't seen in 15 years, and he really shared how excited Lehigh faculty were about the international program, because it's a world they were just sort of figuring out and getting into then in the early 2000s. So he really encouraged and helped me and has been a mentor and a friend for all these years. And that's the kind of connections you get with Lehigh that I don't know you get everywhere, but I've found that to be the case there. And then getting into the leadership program and going for 3 summers, taking classes with my cohort. My cohort was 10 folks, and made really deep and strong connection with those guys. It was all men that year. Don't know why. But those guys and I formed good friendships, and they are definitely a strong part of my network now. We've helped each other in our careers. We bounce stuff off of each other. I was just talking to one of them who's a principal in Africa right now, asking for a reference on a teacher we're trying to hire, and he gave me some good information. So the connections, the network, and the content and the faculty all really combine to make it a super nice program.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. I'll just say, I mean, I'm not an educator, but in 6 years with ISS, seeing the kind of complexities of international education, just how much it's exploding and what's happening all over the world. I just love that we've got universities like Lehigh that are really committed to advancing, being thought leaders and at the forefront in academia in such an exciting time in an international education. So we're thrilled that you all joined us. I don't know if there's any more questions, but maybe we'll just close it out. Keith and Audrey, any last words before we say goodbye?
No, thanks for coming today. And really looking forward to doing this. Give me a shout individually if you have any questions. I'm here in the Princeton office.
Yeah, and we're in constant communications with Keith and Aaron, and please, if you're uncomfortable reaching out or unsure about a graduate degree, I get it. It's a huge decision. I really do understand that. But we do try to support you as much as possible, recognizing your very unique needs all over the world. Please reach out to Keith or us, me or Andrea. And again, we're working just really, really closely, and we're so grateful for all the support that we've received from ISS, and we're really excited to launch this.
Oh, great. Yeah, we're thrilled to be in partnership with you guys, Audrey. And thanks, everybody, for joining. We will definitely post this so that it's available to other ISS educators. We're just thrilled that you were with us today. And just make sure to keep checking back on that ISS webpage, or go directly to the Lehigh page. But the link for the admissions is on our page, so you can get to it. And as Audrey and Keith said, they're both available. So have a great day, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.